Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be with you here. My name is Emily Mithner, and I'm the CEO and founder of FindSpark.com. Welcome to how to use your online presence to land internships and jobs. So what is FindSpark? So FindSpark is a career community that's dedicated to setting up students and young professionals like you for career success. So we create all sorts of programs all throughout the year, online and offline, that are dedicated to getting you closer to your dream career. So we have hosted over 250 programs since we got started. We have over 25,000 amazing community members around the country. Over 500 different schools and universities are repped. And really what's great about FindSpark is that we are a community of real people who are excited to get together, connect, and to help each other move forward in their careers. So what do we actually do for you? So we have a highly curated job board. We have in-person events and workshops. We have virtual workshops like these. We have a really epic career fair called Hustle Summit, which I'll tell you more about towards the end. And we create all sorts of digital career content and resources as well. Again, we are all about getting you closer to your dream career through the things that you learn and the people who you meet. And we work with incredible employers who are interested in connecting with young, ambitious, talented candidates just like you. Again, connecting you to these employers through our job board, through our events, our mentorship program, and more. And we have amazing speakers and mentors. One of our big goals is to help you figure out what do you want to do, what do you want to pursue, and how can you get closer to that. And a big part of what we'll be talking about today is how you can use your online presence and social media to get informational interviews, get opportunities, get the attention of recruiters and people like our FindSpark mentors and speakers. And of course, it's fun to show off a few numbers, but I also want to show you a few actual community members who have benefited from being a part of FindSpark. And these are people who have landed internships through our job board, through our events like Hustle Summit, jobs, mentors, met friends, gained confidence, you name it. And so we're really excited to be here with you today to be a part of your career and helping you to move forward. And just a quick background, because people ask me this all the time. Why did I start FindSpark? Why do we produce events and programs like the one you're at right now? It's because when I was in college, that's when I started to realize that there really weren't a lot of great career resources out there for students like myself at the time. Weren't a lot of great networking events or career events that were really targeted towards young people. And I loved meeting people and networking, but I could understand why my peers at the time didn't, because a lot of times it can feel stuffy or awkward, or they don't know how important it is. And so I knew that I wanted to start something that really emphasized the importance of creating a strong network for yourself early on in your career. And now, in addition to FindSpark, I speak at events in colleges around the country, and I'm also an adjunct professor at multiple colleges where I teach social media and career courses. So I absolutely love this stuff, and I cannot wait to share some of my favorite tips with you. And I do want to do a little push to follow us on Snapchat. So FindSpark does a lot of great things on Snapchat, great content. We highlight some of our jobs there. We will make your Snapchat actually a little bit more productive, but still really fun. So definitely follow FindSpark on Snapchat if you are not already. And now, before we start, a couple of things. So I want you now to take a screenshot of at least 2 of your social media profiles or your website. So take a screenshot of your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your Instagram, a website if you have it, a blog. Just take a screenshot of something, because I want you to be able to see your before and after, because I promise you by the end of this workshop, you will be able to make some super quick and easy updates to your profiles that'll make a big difference. So take a screenshot right now. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Take a quick screenshot on your phone, on your desktop. That way you can have proof and you can see the growth that occurs after this workshop. And I do want to also ask you, before we dive in, to just take a moment to silence your phone, close out of other windows, shut the door, whatever you need to do to fully focus. You've already made the commitment to be here, so just make sure you are 100% actually here, distraction-free. And we are going to work. So we'll set some goals at the end. So this is not a high level pie in the sky type workshop. This is an action oriented workshop, and you are going to be able to know what changes that you can make by the end. And another quick thing, actually, before you close out all those windows, just take a moment to Google yourself in an incognito window or a private window. And what that's going to do is it's going to show the true search results of what people might find when they Google you. And why is this important? Well, because pretty much any hiring manager or recruiter at some point in the process will probably Google you, and you should know what those results are. And you want to take control over those results and make sure what people are finding best represents you and what you really want people to learn about you. All right, now here we go. So the first thing I want to emphasize is that we are people. We're not resumes. Resumes are definitely important, and we have a lot of resume advice on findspark.com on our blog, and we do other fully resume-focused workshops. But the great thing about having an online presence and using social media in your career is that it helps to show off your personality. Who are you really? What are you all about? What are you into? What are you motivated by? Your online presence is a chance to show the real you and a chance to connect with people beyond just the resume. And that's why it's so, so important to take advantage of. And one of the main things we're going to talk about today is creating notifications, right? Because no one can deny that little red dot that says somebody has acknowledged my existence, right? And so we'll talk about different ways you can create notifications for colleagues and recruiters and really anybody so that you stay on their radar. And the other thing is to make sure you're creating work. You want to make sure that regardless of what you're doing in school, for your internship or for your full-time job, that you're creating work, some content here or there, putting your thoughts and work out there into the universe. This is actually a real example of a FindSpark community member who has been challenging herself to do a 365 days of copy program. So basically every day on her LinkedIn and her Twitter, she's creating mock copy for some sort of ad campaign. What a great way to show people that you're driven, what industry you're interested in, and it's a great opportunity for you to learn more and to get practice on your own terms. So the more type of content that you can create, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy or every day, but the more that you'll have to share. And I'm really going to focus on the positive, the great things about social media, but I do want to take a couple of minutes just to talk about what you want to make sure you don't do, just in case you haven't heard this before. So make sure you don't have any broken links, right? It's really frustrating to see somebody on Instagram or on Twitter, click the link in their bio, and then it goes to a broken domain, or it goes to something that's password protected, or you go to follow somebody on Twitter and it's private, or on Instagram, you met somebody at an networking event and you say, follow me on Instagram, and then it's private. So just make sure people can actually access the stuff that you have online. And of course, it goes without saying, get rid of the embarrassing stuff. We'll talk about a few ways to do this a little bit later, but checking on Facebook to see what's public. Instagram actually has a new feature where you can archive certain posts. So you can archive posts so that you still see them, but they don't show up on your feed publicly. So just making sure if you have any sort of hint of, I don't know if I would want people to see this, then it should probably remain on a completely private network, or you should probably delete it. And then irrelevant info. And what's irrelevant to you is all up to you. And what I mean by that is you have full control over what people are learning about you and your background. And so if something is no longer relevant, like a food service job or an internship that's not related to what you want to do in the future, you have the power and control to remove that sort of information from your website, your social media accounts, and that sort of thing. So keep it focused on what you want people to learn about you. All right, and getting started. Social media is fun. It's fun to be able to show off your personality, things that you like, and they're always great conversation starters at networking events or in interviews. And so these are a few of my favorite social media bios and Twitter bios specifically. And one thing that's really important about these bios is that you might notice that they all have the option for people to message them. So on Twitter, you can make it so that regardless of if you're following somebody back, they can message you. And I highly recommend you turn that feature on. And really with any social media profile, you want to make it as easy as possible for people to get in touch with you because you never want to miss out on an opportunity. So that means having a public profile, and you can do things like put your email address directly in your bio, which you might see people doing on Instagram or Twitter. The other thing you can do with your bios is link to things that you do or things that you work on. So maybe you're president of a club at school, or maybe where you work or where you're currently interning. That's a great thing to, put that @ sign and then the name of the company. On Twitter, that actually becomes clickable, which is really great. Also on Twitter, you can actually put multiple links. So you can put as many links as will fit into the bio area. So maybe you want to show off a certain article that you wrote and you also want to show off your personal website. Well, you can put the link to, say, your articles on a certain website in the bio section and then your actual personal website in the official link section. You can also be creative with the location. I've seen some people put their email as a location, or multiple cities, or their Snapchat, or a link to a different social media profile. And again, it's fun to use emojis, hashtags, and show a little character when it comes to your bios. A really good rule of thumb is what you're doing now, what you've done, so something in the past, and something fun. And also pretty much all profiles give you the option to create a cover photo and to add one. So what are you going to show or tell people? Is it a place that you've been? Is it something you care about, like the outdoors or fashion or design? But have fun with it. And again, that can be a great conversation starter. So make sure you have a cover photo that's meaningful to you on every profile. And that includes LinkedIn and Twitter. And I mentioned this before, but make sure you know what is viewable on your Facebook profile. So when you go to your profile, you can hit the View As button, and that's going to let you view as a friend or as the public. And so make sure that only what you want to be seen by miscellaneous people is what can be viewed by the public. And now always remember context. This is actually a personal example. So what I did one time when I had a colleague at my first job add me on Facebook was go, you know what, I feel like I usually search through people's profile pictures, so I'm going to search through my profile pictures to see what my colleague would see because they just friended me. And I'm looking through and I go back to this one, which is a picture of me wearing a shirt that says, "I heart my vagina." And so why was I wearing that shirt? Well, before I did this little test, I didn't have any caption on the photo. So it was just this photo and that was it. And realizing, wow, if somebody just saw that, they might be a little weirded out, thinking, why does this person have this there? And so I didn't delete it. I could have deleted it, which is a fine option. But what I did is I added context. So the reason I'm wearing this shirt is because I was a very proud supporter of the Vagina Monologues, which is a play and organization that supports women and girls around the country and around the world. I was in this production every year in college, so it was a really important cause to me. So instead of deleting it, I added the context that I am a proud supporter of the Vagina Monologues, which is a movement to stop violence against women and girls. So that way, if people see the photo, they have that context. So make sure you know why you've done things and why you've posted things, but you have to make sure to a miscellaneous hiring manager or recruiter or future colleague, just make sure that it's explained why you're posting what you're posting. And again, if you're not sure about it, you're a little uneasy, that probably means you shouldn't include it. And now Facebook groups are a really great place to network. I feel like these are sort of the new version of message boards. And so you might not be using Facebook a ton because there's a lot of junk on it. But if you join specific curated niche Facebook groups, these are ways to network and to be helpful. So sharing links, commenting on other people's questions if they ask for advice and that sort of thing. And so as a plug, for instance, with Find FindSpark, we have an exclusive Facebook group, which you should definitely join. And that's a place for our members to network. We post our job openings there first, a lot of great advice. We let people ask questions, and it's amazing. We have our community members sharing their advice and their personal experiences. And so Facebook groups, I think, are a really great way to network. So you want to make sure, if you're being active in them, that whatever people see on their profile, on your profile, if they click, is good stuff. And now with the note of Facebook, there is a lot of junk on there. So a really amazing, amazing free plugin that I recommend is called Newsfeed Eradicator. So just Google that, and what it does is anytime you're on your homepage, it actually erases your newsfeed. So you don't get distracted by any of the junk. And this is, I find, a huge time saver. You can still use every feature, look at profiles, go into groups, get notifications, but you don't see the news feed. So absolutely download that. Now, moving to LinkedIn. So I have a lot of tips on some simple things you can update to make your LinkedIn more effective, but first you want to turn off this setting. So when you go into your profile settings, you don't want to notify your network whenever you update your profile, like adding new skills or updating your headline. That's not really a good reason for people to get notifications. Plus, that might make your boss think that you are looking for a new job or that sort of thing. So definitely turn that off. One thing you can do really easily is to organize your skills. So you can have up to 50 skills on your LinkedIn profile. So max them out, and make sure you also put them in the order that you want to be known for, not just in the order of which you got endorsements for. And another huge way to get noticed on LinkedIn is to mention other people. So when you post an article or just saying something nice, at mentioning the author, at mentioning old connections, new connections, but the more you at mention people, the more notifications that's going to create. And people are going to get a notification that says, Jane Doe mentioned you. They're going to look at you and go, oh yeah, that old intern of mine, I actually have a job opening for them. Maybe that will happen. It won't happen all the time, but that's the idea. If you create these little notifications, those sort of things could happen. Also post photos on LinkedIn. This is a community member of ours. Her name is Jamie. She's an amazing networker, and she actually does a great job posting on LinkedIn pictures of things that she's involved in. And LinkedIn is really prioritizing photos, and especially big photos. So every so often, if you accomplish something, or if you're at an event, or finished up a project at school, take a moment to, take a selfie or a picture of you from whatever program or event that is, and tell people about it. That's the type of content that is really great to post on LinkedIn. And of course, talking about your work. So at your internship, at your job, mentioning colleagues in those posts. Those are great things to do and a great way to keep your network updated all at once, right? So instead of having to send emails to everybody all the time when you do something cool, you post it on social media, and that's a way to keep everyone updated. And now you can publish updates. So those are like the things I just shared. Another thing to consider is to publish posts. So this is basically LinkedIn's blogging platform. And the great thing about publishing posts is that when you do, your entire network will get a notification that says, Emily Mithner just published the post, and then the title of that post. So that's a way to notify everybody. So if you have something bigger to share, like maybe a recap post of your internship or things that you've been learning at your job, consider actually writing a blog post style update to notify even more of your network. And now this is something I recommend you do keep on. So LinkedIn has a function where you can let people know that you viewed their profile, right? So if somebody views my profile, I'll see, Jane Doe viewed my profile. And a lot of people think that's creepy, but you have to remember, if you're looking at somebody's profile, it's probably for a good reason. Maybe you're doing your research on a job, or looking for people who have career paths you're interested in, or maybe you're going to a networking event and you're looking up speakers. All of these things are good. And so a lot of times when people see who's viewed their profile, they're going to go and look at your profile. And that's a great way to get engagement, to get people to see your profile. So I highly recommend you turn this on, because that will hopefully help you create even more connections on LinkedIn. And when you are connecting with people on LinkedIn and sending emails after events and really doing any sort of connecting, make sure you customize the messages. So you have the choice to just connect with somebody with no note. Do not do that. Always take 1 minute to just write a custom note to say how you met or why you're connecting. And we've talked about different social media platforms and creating great bios, but I also think it's really important to have a personal website for yourself as well, because this is a totally customized place where you have full control, again, over what people are learning about you. I highly recommend using Wix.com. That is a free website builder. It's super easy to use. You don't need to know how to code or be a designer. These are all actually real FindSpark member Wix websites. So check it out and make sure that you have a place on the internet that's really yours. And again, we love Wix because it is forever free, but if you ever want to upgrade and get yourname.com, which I do highly recommend, we have a special code. It's FindSpark50, and that will get you 50% off all premium plans. It's a super great deal. So on your website, you want to show off your work. So what are some things that you have created? This can be links to articles, photos, videos of projects or work that you've been involved with on campus, at internships, or at your job. And of course, you want to show off your personality. Wix has a cool feature where you can have a video background. This is another FindSpark member, and she is one of the brightest, sunniest people I know, and I love that her video background has this great sunshine going through it. It's a video sort of going, almost looks like it's on a train, and it just really fits with her personality. So take the time to create some sort of customization on your website that fits you. And then going along with content, we're talking about social media, but you want to bring your online presence and social media efforts to the real world as well, because making connections face-to-face is so important. You really want to pound the pavement just as much as you're pounding the keyboard, right? And so when you go to the events like Hustle Summit or FindSpark events, don't just go and leave and not leave any sort of digital mark, right? So go to events and create content. That could be anything from posts on social media like Twitter or Instagram, or even creating a video. Because the great thing about doing content around events is that there's already going to be a lot of people who are searching the hashtags and talking about that event. So you want to take advantage of that. And I really recommend reaching out to people before events to say that you're looking forward to meeting people. So for instance, at FindSpark events and our event like Hustle Summit, so a part of Hustle Summit is what we call our mentorship zone. So we have mentors who are there to give pressure-free career advice throughout the night. And so we list who all of our mentors are. And so that gives you the opportunity to reach out to them and let them know that you want to meet them. So here's a quick message that I put together from one of our mentors by just quickly looking over her LinkedIn. So I wrote, and you can use this as sort of a template, hi Paola, I'm looking forward to meeting you at Hustle Summit. Since you ran the intern program at the New York Stock Exchange, I'd love to learn more about what you looked for in candidates while you were there, when you were at Univision, and now at Honeywell. So why is that a great message? It says that you look forward to meeting them at the event, so you make a connection before you even get in the door. And this note shows that I did my research because I mentioned something she did at a previous job and the 3 places that she currently is. You want to use social media and these tools to your advantage to do as much research as possible before events so that you really will stand out versus other people. And of course, use event hashtags. So leading up to the event, you can use the hashtag. During the event, especially on platforms like Twitter or Instagram, and after the event, posting as well. These are a few real posts from FindSpark members who attended Hustle Summit. Here's one where somebody said, hi, Jabelt, that was one of our mentors. Excited to meet you and talk tomorrow at Hustle Summit about social media and marketing. See you then, right? So there's a really good chance that she got that notification. She looked at his bio and learned more about him. And you can actually see that the person he mentioned, that mentor, favorited that tweet. So there you go. Again, engaging with people and standing out online before you meet them offline. And again, these are ways for other people, not just recruiters and mentors at events like Hustle Summit, but also your fellow attendees, a way to meet other people, because your peers are just as important as these mentors and recruiters and bigwigs and that sort of thing. And of course, engaging with other people's content. So you don't need to be posting all the time on every platform. Nobody has time for that. But following people who you care about, people who inspire you, people who you've connected with in the past or who you want to connect with in the future, commenting on their posts, liking their updates on LinkedIn. We have FindSpark members who have gotten internships because they actively were commenting on the Instagram post of their dream company and went from intern to full-time there. I mean, these sort of things can really happen. These small little engagements, they do add up. So making the investment little by little, a day, a week, a month, these little actions are really important to do to maintain those social media profiles so that ultimately you can have career opportunities come to you because of how active you are. And now with that, I want to tell you about one of FindSpark's amazing networking events. Our fun tagline is Hustle Summit is a networking event for people who hate networking events. But really all of our FindSpark events are fun. They're more casual, less awkward than normal networking events. And we love providing this sort of content, workshops, and programming leading up to our events so you can be confident and prepared. So Hustle Summit is taking place in Chicago and New York this summer in July. We're going to have a bunch of companies that are there actively wanting to meet with and hire intern to entry to mid-level talent in industries like creative, business, design, advertising, and marketing. We also have the mentorship zone where you can get pressure-free career advice, feedback on your materials, practice your pitch. And our mentors and speakers, again, they're fantastic. We have a really fun stat that 90% of our mentors and FindSpark speakers end up continuing their relationships with people they meet at our events after the event. And then, of course, we have all sorts of fun things to do at our events like Hustle Summit for you to meet other attendees as well, because FindSpark members are incredibly diverse, ambitious, and talented young people. So again, we're going to be in New York and Chicago this summer, and we'll be in more and more cities as time goes on. We're expanding the FindSpark network nationally. And because you are here and you're amazing, because you're investing this time in your professional development, and I know that you're going to have great profiles before the event, we are hooking you up with our biggest discount code ever. So you can use the code UPGRADE50 for 50% off of all of our tickets in either city. And we do also have digital tickets if you can't be there in person that get you into our resume book, our exclusive mobile app, and Facebook groups, and more. And because we're talking about social media, and I am a social media and networking expert, I do want to recommend you also go to my personal website. It is myname.com, so emilymithner.com. If you sign up and put your email there, you are going to get my bonus list of tools that I love. They are all social media, digital related, and I guarantee you will find something on that list that will make your life easier. So definitely check that out as well to get my free list of tools that I love. And what now? So if you enjoyed this event, I encourage you to follow FindSpark on at least one social media network. We are everywhere. So Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and we also have the FindSpark Facebook group, which I highly recommend you join. But we share this sort of advice every day, all the time. So if you want actionable, real talk, not sugar-coated career advice and tips, follow us on social media as well. And I want to close by making sure you set some quantifiable goals. So I know that social media can be overwhelming because there's so much you can do. And of course, you have to still do your work and apply for jobs. And I really want to emphasize that, yes, this stuff takes time to create great profiles, to engage with people, to post content. I'm not saying it's easy breezy, but it's important because ultimately, you're going to build up this online karma, right? And the more you have, the more you will get. So make sure you set some quantifiable goals, like mentioning somebody on social media once a day, once a month, reconnecting with old colleagues through social media, finding somebody at a company you love and connecting through social media once a week. All these different tips or goals, they're examples. You all have different career goals, so these goals will be different for each person. But before you head off to sleep tonight, make sure you set yourself 2 to 3 actionable goals that you can set for yourself within the next few weeks. And really what this is all about, creating a great online presence, engaging with people online and offline, it's all about helping you create the strongest network possible for yourself. Because at the end of the day, your career is all about the people behind every industry, behind every job, behind every company. It's people. And they want to know what you're all about, and you want to take advantage of showing what you are all about. So just know that this is an investment of time that you want to make, because at the end of the day, your network is everything, and it is the most valuable thing that you will ever have throughout your career. And so with that, I want to say thank you for being here, for being a hustler. Be sure to join the FindSpark community for free at findspark.com. Check out our events like Hustle Summit, and we cannot wait to have you in the community to help you grow in your career. So thank you everyone so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you at future events.